Austin, Texas Country's KOKE FM. Eric Range live from the Deep Eddy Vodka Media Lounge. It's Music Fest 2023. It's day 4. Do you know what day it is?
No.
Yeah.
It ends in Y, though, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that end in Y now that I think of it. Tyler Halverson live in the studio with us. How are you, man?
I'm great, man. How about yourself?
I'm incredible. Today could be the best day ever.
It's going to be.
In fact, the day that I keep my gratitude higher than my expectations, I have really good days.
Speaking some real wisdom.
That's Ray Wiley Hubbard. I just say it every day. I just ripped it straight from him, and I just try to frame it. I say best day ever, but it's not really sometimes. But if you start it there, and it's all downhill from there.
I get that.
I ask us, like, you got all dressed up, and you're like, I'm about to head home.
I'm going to, back to Tennessee. Find my own bed.
Did you enjoy this week? Was this your first official week here?
This is the first official week up here, and I loved it, man. It was great.
What was your favorite part of just coming hanging? Or just hanging?
I just like, the hanging, the dung beetle was cool. I like that. I like the smaller spots to play. They're just cool. Turn them into listening rooms, and people were listening and attentive, and it was nice.
It's probably one of the most, I'll use the word, most beautiful things for me to watch. For an artist to silence a room and for them to actually listen to a song.
Yeah.
I'm sure as an artist, you probably spent days where you were playing your heart out in some song that you wrote and you thought it was just cosmic gold that the whole world is going to love. And no one's paying attention.
Oh, absolutely.
And when they finally do, it's magical. Even from the air personality on the other end watching it happen. And the rooms this year have been, there's always going to be a few drunk guys that they're probably care and they're here for the right reasons.
You just got to make it part of the party.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, listening, got to do the media lounge downstairs a couple days ago and get to know you and hang out. That was a lot of fun.
That was my first show.
That was your first show,
the
period?
First one up here. Yeah. So that was fun.
We talked about you going to school in Belmont. I never asked you, what were you going to school for? Was it like a business, or are you going to go learn to...
So I got in on the songwriting program there. I recorded a couple in South Dakota and sent them down and got in. And then a couple weeks later, I just wasn't really jiving with what they were doing on the songwriting stuff. So I found my own little circle, my own friends there, which I'm very thankful for. And then just switched to entertainment industry studies and music business. Yeah.
So when you're doing that, are you playing the whole time? Do they have different classes where today you go to guitar class and a theory class and all that? Or
not necessarily.
Right.
I mean, there is that if you set it up that way, but mine was just all business, kind of learning, music law, the theory, the law, all the stuff, different things like that. And yeah.
When you go to school and learn, when you're studying to do that, do you learn what you need to learn? I'm sure, or when you get out there in the real world, is that when you learn it?
I think it gave me a good perspective of like, when I was working for internships, I was almost pissed off that I wasn't working for myself. So like it was good fuel to my fire to be like, hey, I don't really want to be working on somebody else's behalf. Like I want to be pushing my own stuff, but like it's also good to know these people that are within the business, and this whole thing's knowing people,
Right.
So it was nice to have start some of that networking down there in the contacts. And
who are you interning for? Or can you say?
I interned for a place called the Holland Group.
Right.
There was a different radio group that I interned for.
Oh, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
Did you learn anything working in the radio station?
Oh, yeah. I was just jotting down spins and numbers from all over all the different markets. And, yeah, I was just tracking stuff mostly.
We talked about the fact that, everybody has that artist that they hear, and that's who, when something flips the switch, and then you want to start songwriting. And songwriting is not very easy to do because there's people up here even that are great singers, but they can't write. They have to find somebody else to
two very different things.
Correct.
Yeah.
You said Hayes Carl was the guy. What was it about Hayes?
I don't know. I think he was just kind of one of the first Texas writers that I was introduced to by a buddy of mine back home, and it would just be a lot of hopping in the pickup, drinking a couple beers, and listening to Hayes Carl, just driving around and just going to see him live and just knowing that that's a thing. And it was totally different because I feel like in South Dakota, like in Texas, y'all are very blessed with a good music scene from small to big. You can go to the clubs, to the arenas, and there's good music in Texas. And I feel like in South Dakota, there's a lot of just, like when bigger Nashville names are rolling through Sioux Falls and they're selling out the arena, stuff like that is kind of all that was there.
So there's no hip circle.
So there was. I mean, there was like a little bluegrass, folky something, but that's not really what I was trying to go for either.
Sure.
Yeah. So it was just, that was kind of the first time seeing that stripped down, man, this is badass.
Do you have a favorite Hayes song? I know I asked favorite artist, and that wasn't
man.
fair last week.
My favorite, maybe Arkansas Blues or Flowers and Liquor. I like the old
yeah.
stuff. Yeah,
He's
Arkansas
very introspective. I also love Hayes because he's hilarious. He can stop
Absolutely.
singing and do stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And the driest wit in his writing comes across like that.
I love his very lackadaisical, lazy delivery. Like you're almost waiting for it to fall off, but it never does. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
perfect. It's perfect.
And kind of the whole Bob Dylan feel that he's had.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he told me, I was like, you ever had any great and low moments when we were talking about it? He goes, yeah, when I played a synagogue once and I pulled out, she left me for Jesus, and they started booing it. He goes, but it was a great day for me, so we'll go from
You
there.
sing that just to tell the story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great.
Play us a song. What do you got? What do you got in that guitar for us?
Oh, see what we got up here. Can we start it with some Mac Miller?
Absolutely.
Cool. Playing Mac Miller with the cowboy killer hanging outside her lip. The window's down, but we can't leave town, so we take another whip. In that old Ford I bought secondhand, the cash got me smoking half a pack, got me turning red like the end of that cigarette. Another night, another drive with you, take any chance of getting high with you. Laying the seat back, lay off the gas, seeing how far we'll get. And I ain't talking about the road, honey, nothing more to do when you got no money. Might burn out, then maybe we won't. Tell them we're blowing smoke. Hit it home, racing the clock. Stayed out a little late, gotta watch for cops. The son of a bitch, something to prove. Must have got picked on back in high school. Sneaking through the door, hear the floorboards creak like a rubber band got it out for me. Ain't no trouble that we ain't been in before. Another night, another drive with you, take any chance of getting high with you. Laying the seat back, lay off the gas, seeing how far we'll get. And I ain't talking about the road, honey, nothing more to do when you got no money. Might burn out, then maybe we won't. Until then we're blowing smoke. So if one day we run out of borrowed time, guess we'll always have 2009. Another night, another drive with you, take any chance of getting high with you. Laying the seat back, lay off the gas, seeing how far we'll get. And I ain't talking about the road, honey, nothing more to do when you got no money. Might burn out, then maybe we won't. Until then we're blowing smoke.
Yeah. Tyler Halverson, true story. I'll say it on the air. I looked at his hands, and he has 2009 on his hands. I was like, that's not when you were born, was it? Math is hard, man. That would make you, what, 13?
Something like that. I wish I had that song at 13. Hell.